My name is Dr. Thierry, and I was born and raised in Provence. I spent the last 30 years rekindling the work of Nostradamus. The type of astrology that I practice is about 500 years old and has nothing to do with the astrology as practiced today. He gave me the unarguable ability to predict what happened 9/11, 2 years before it happened. And again, those predictions are well documented and they are printed in both of my books. And the printing process makes those predictions totally unarguable. Again, that is for you to investigate. In terms of September 11, a year and a half ago, before September 11, I was doing my yearly book called Moon Power, which is Universal Guidance and Predictions. And I knew that the moon was coming in a specific area of the chart, and I knew what the dragon tail and head was going to do to the world at large. So I wrote every single thing that took place in New York, 9/11, and I've used the right words, the right sentences, and I was so sure of myself that I put everything on my website on September 2nd, 2001, and I printed it in my books 2 years or so before the 9/11. If you can focus on that, I'll leave it for a second.
Could you read it for us?
Yeah. Actually, I am going to tell you what I wrote about a year and a half, nearly 2 years before September 11. I wrote, full moon, September 2nd, 2001, in the sign of Pisces. Pisces rules the Middle East, religion, and will produce all sorts of bad aeronautic accidents. Just be ready to provide as much help as needed and do not lose faith in the future. Expect a general feeling of hopelessness plaguing the media. Deceiving news will take place and affect many of us. Some desperate souls will fall for Neptune's suicidal tendency. This trend will be very difficult for some, but do not lose faith in yourself. Get all the help you can to fight Neptune's depressive tendency. Keep busy and let go of the past. Life must go on. Expect shocking news, surprising news, even incredible news to take place soon, and see the real power of Uranus, the planet of sudden release of energy in action. And all this will be forcing the government to take drastic actions. That's the first prediction that I did, and in my other book I wrote this. In Sagittarius, religion, Pluto, regeneration, death, will promote a disturbing wave of religious fanaticism that will plague the world. In the US, the impact of Pluto in Sagittarius has already spoken, with some religious fanatic committing serious crime, and many will have to pay the ultimate price for their destructive behavior. Some Middle Eastern residents have also shocked the world and will keep spawning suicidal bomb attacks on major European and US cities. The contract they signed with their manipulators before blowing themselves up, surrounded by the highest possible numbers of innocent victims, promised the martyr 20 or more virgin after an immediate entrance to paradise. If you can read between the words and hear every single word that I just mentioned, predict inarguable what was going to happen September 11. And all of this was on my website September 2nd for the world to see, and all of this is still on my website. I never touched it since the day it was up there. So when you go to my website, click on the plane and realize that I am not, for God's please forgive me, I am not using the death and the dramatic experience of the families to bring myself recognition or money. What I want to do is to make people aware that there is real thing out there. There is real people that have real gift in predictive astrology. I had UFOs experiences, 4 of them to be precise. And how can you keep a straight face? By saying to people, yes, I have been inside a flying saucer, and yes, they downloaded the entire secret of the universal mind in a matter of a few seconds.
Let me ask you really quick. Could you tell me about your first experience with aliens and what race they were, or what exactly they did for you?
Well, my first experience, I was only 7 years old, and every single night they were coming into my bedroom. That was an attic at that time, and they used to do all sorts of things in me, but I was much too young to really connect with this phenomenon. That was in 1957. I was barely 7 years old, and that was my first experience. It was pretty dramatic, though, but that was my first experience as a child.
Can you tell me, what did they do to you there, and what's the thing with over the face?
Well, in August 11, 1991, I was going to Anaheim, California, with my wife, and for some reason, to cut the story short, I ended up after Los Angeles. And we've done so much miles, not knowing how, when, or where we end up out there. And then I was regressed. And then I was sucked into the flying saucer, and out from the top of the flying saucer, a helmet came down and covered my head, and I froze. I literally turned into a piece of steel and all electrics. And the next thing I know, I was definitely downloaded some incredible information, especially those that forced me to paint my entire house with symbols and astrological symbols, and from that point to go and rekindle Nostradamus astrology, and this is where I start to display my predictive abilities. I'd like to take this opportunity to let one of my best friends, astrologer, also introduce himself and give the world some of his own feedback on a specific date that he worked out for November the 8th, 2003.
Hi, my name is Johnny Marahiel, and I'm an astrologer and have been for some 30 years. I have discovered a chart of a moment in our future, which is November 8th, 2003, or November 9th, if you're on the other side of the date line, where we are pretty certain that it has the astrological signature of a new birth of consciousness for mankind. So this implies astrologically that this is a great moment of consciousness awareness, or of a shift in consciousness from one state where we concentrate on a third dimensional planet to another state where we concentrate and are able to perceive a fifth dimensional planet. This is a stargate into the ascended world.
I understand how the mind is interacting with universal forces, reacting to the outside stimuli produced by the stars, which are more than dead rock hanging out there for the sake of beauty. Cosmic consciousness is not something you're going to gain in 5 minutes. I happen to have it by accident through my interaction with extraterrestrial, but I teach astropsychology to the world. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, is a student of mine. Not to forget surgeons, police officers, psychiatrists, psychologists, and a very normal person like you could also gather cosmic consciousness and understand what it means to be human. That's the gift that the universe has given me. That's the gift that travelers from the universe have given me. And I'm very compassionate in helping and healing the world, and most of all, to free mankind from religious poisoning and free mankind from stupidity that jails spirits against mental exploration.